Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles can be a card about boredom, in some ways. You may be tempted to say or do things to shake things and people up just for a little excitement. Rethink this impulse, and find a better use of your energy. Excitement can be created. In general, the Page of Pentacles is excellent energy to support you when you have somewhat tedious work to get accomplished. The Page can give you focus, backbone, and the wherewithal to stick with a task that is not necessarily glamorous or fun. Don't try to sidestep effort, or you will fall on your face. Work. The Page can indicate more work to be done than there is time to do it. Don't despair, just roll up your sleeves and get busy. The news in general is good, but you may be feeling overwhelmed and unexcited. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. If you need help to get things done, don't hesitate to go out and find the assistance. It's there for you. Love. If you're in a committed relationship when this card appears, it may have lost some of its luster. That doesn't have to mean a death knell, but it does mean that action and discussion is necessary. To create change, you must be honest about how you are feeling. If you are unattached, and can't seem to meet someone new, look carefully at what you're holding in your heart. You may still be attached to an ex, and may need to let go before you can expect to move forward. Finances. With regard to finances, the Page of Pentacles points to rewards for good, old-fashioned hard work. This is not a time to gamble or to be unrealistic. This is a time to put an honest appraisal on the value of your skills and efforts. If you aren't being fairly compensated, now might be the time to make a change. Invest, don't spend. Choose traditional, safe investments for now. Health. Any health problems manifesting now may be a result of neglected emotional issues. Do you need attention? You don't have to get sick to get some. Ask for what you need. However, be sure that any symptoms are properly evaluated by a healthcare professional. If they say there's nothing wrong with you, look to your mental and emotional situations. You hold the key to your health and vitality, in the vast majority of the time. Spirituality. If you are feeling some spiritual malaise, now would be a good time to examine what excites you. What do you enjoy? What interests you? What would you like to explore? Make a point to get off the beaten path and try new things. Create your own energy and enthusiasm. Find the most upbeat and spiritually aware person that you know, and talk to them about what makes them tick. You will learn helpful things. Tarot history. The history of the tarot is shrouded in mystery. Very little in the way of concrete information is known about its origin, although many things have been written about it. We will probably never know the truth, as fact and fiction seem to be irrevocably mixed nowadays. The tarot originated in northern Italy in the early 15th century, sometime between 1420 to 1440. Despite the fact that it is often attributed to originating from China, Egypt, India, or Morocco, to name just a few, there is absolutely no evidence that this is the case. Nor, as is often quoted, is there any evidence whatsoever that the tarot was brought to Europe by the Romanis. The name tarot is often attributed to being Egyptian, Hebrew, or Latin. This is not the case. The earliest names are all Italian in origin. The cards were originally called carte de triomphe. Around 1530 the word tarocchi began to be used to differentiate them from a new game of triumphs that was in vogue at the time. The etymology of this new word is unknown. The German variant was known as tarot and the French tarot. The symbolism for the tarot is drawn from the culture of medieval and Renaissance Europe. The tarot subjects are distinctive to European Christendom. The symbolism does not come from Egypt or any of the other exotic locales often mentioned. It is often stated that modern-day playing cards evolved from the tarot. This is not the case. Modern-day playing cards came to Europe courtesy of Islam. They were an adaptation of the Islamic Mamluk cards. They appeared quite suddenly in many different European cities between 1375 and 1378. These early cards had suits of cups, swords, coins, and polo sticks, and courts consisting of a king and 2 male underlings. The tarot adds the Fool, the trumps, and a set of queens to this system. Sometime before 1480, the French introduced cards with the now familiar suits of hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds. The Joker is not original to either the early form of modern-day cards, or to the tarot, but instead originated in the USA around 1857 and was used as a wild card in poker as well as the highest trump in euchre. It is also often stated that the Catholic and Protestant churches outlawed the tarot and all who used it in an effort to stamp out so-called heretical teachings. This is not the case. The Inquisition documented what the Church considered as evidence of heresy in great detail. The tarot was not even mentioned. After the Reformation, less controversial images for the Pope and Papess were substituted by card makers as the Church had objected to the original images. It is often said that the tarot was not used as a divination tool prior to 1781. The tarot was used as early as the 16th century to compose poems describing personality characteristics. There is historical evidence that in one case at least these verses were presented as relating to the person's fate. In other words, divination. Divinatory meanings were assigned to the tarot in Bologna in the early 1700s, and this is the first unambiguous evidence of tarot divination. Ordinary playing cards were connected with divination as early as 1487. It is not unreasonable to think that the tarot was also. The tarot has often been attributed with being a pillar of Western esoterica occultism. This is certainly not the case. The first occult writers to discuss the tarot were Court de Gabellin and the Comte de Melot in 1781. The tarot was not mentioned in any occult work for the first 350 years of its existence. The terms Major Arcana, Minor Arcana, High Priestess, and Hierophant are anachronistic when referring to the older tarot decks. The historically appropriate terms are the trumps and the fool, the suit cards, Papess or Popess, and Pope. Likewise, pentacles and wands are relatively recent substitutions for the traditional suit names of coins and staves or batons. The original Italian titles of the cards were in some cases different from the later French titles that have become familiar to us through the Tarot de Marseille and its descendants. Also, the ordering of the trumps varied considerably in Italy, where the cards originated. It is not known which ordering is the earliest one. Even the number of cards in the deck varied a great deal. So care should be used in making statements about the original meaning of the cards based on the familiar titles and ordering. Many believe that the Waite-Smith Tarot is the original, standard, or most authentic tarot deck in existence. This is absolutely untrue. The Waite-Smith/Rider-Waite deck was created in 1909, not even 100 years ago, making it a relative newcomer in the almost 600-year history of the tarot. There is actually no definitive version of the tarot.